Workflow. So at this point, what I'm sharing with you, I've shot, I've downloaded my images, back them up. Now what? You could, of course, edit them. I think that's a bad idea for so many reasons, right? I don't even know where to begin. Your time is better spent someplace else. You're not an editor. You don't make money editing. You make money shooting and marketing, right? For me, it would take me 10 to 12 hours to process a wedding. So how many shoots could I have booked in that time? Or shot? How many more shoots could I have had in that time? Why spend hours on something that still doesn't really look that good, right? I mean, if we're being honest, look, I do love editing. Again, in full transparency, I love editing one picture. That's fun, right? Like TV's on, news is on, I'm drinking some coffee, editing an image, right? It's like gardening, right? You just find like it's therapeutic. Editing an entire wedding, no, I do not find that to be therapeutic. I'd rather somebody else do that for me so I can focus on other things, right? So that's kind of what I do with my team upstairs. I'll edit one every once in a while when I want to, but it's different when you have to because you're at deadline with customers. That's why, of course, I recommend outsourcing. And so I've been outsourcing for over 10 years, so much so I bought the company, okay? So I didn't start Evolve from the ground up. I acquired Evolve and then built it into what it is today because I believe wholeheartedly in outsourcing and letting go. And, you know, outsourcing, it's weird because for photographers, they act like outsourcing is this like mystical, like unicorn type thing. Like, dude, every other industry outsources. So why do photographers believe they have to shoot, they have to edit, they have to, like, you don't have to do all this stuff, guys. Focus on the things that are making you money. That is shooting and marketing. That's where I want to see you spend your time. So Evolve Edits is the company. I'm going to tell you about a special we got. Saves me the time to focus on the things that matter, growing my business, your family. But they're going to turn it in 5 days or less, even during COVID. That's nothing to scoff at, by the way. If you were outsourcing at some other companies, those companies went offline, right? And we're slipping to 10 and 12 days during COVID to turn images. Our team, credit to them upstairs, and they're here, they're in my building. All the creative team is here. Credit to them. Even during COVID, we were turning in 5 days. And that's impressive. That's how committed we are to doing this stuff. So number one reason I outsource, and I chose to outsource, right? I didn't always own the company. So how did I get started outsourcing? When I was in your shoes and I was like, no, I have to control all my images. I needed that wow image. I needed for my business something that stood out in a very crowded market. And we're still in a crowded market, right? I needed polished images that stood out. People are going to pay more money for polished images, right? So you can be a naturalist. I'm not hating on you. You do your thing. You do you. But for me, that higher level edit is helping me make more money, right? So what does that look like? Bam. See, these are senior level images, right? Bam. Wedding level images. That is incredible looking. Bam. Another wedding image. These are the type of images that define my brand. If you go to my website, this is what you're going to see on my website. If you go to bridal shows, this is what you're going to see at bridal shows. If you're a high school senior, this is what you're going to see for a high school senior. That's a real high school senior. These are real images edited by Evolve. Could I do this? Sure. But I'm not going to spend 2+ hours editing a single image so that it's at that level that stands out. I'd much rather use my time and do something else. So this is what's got to get through your head. If you want that kind of stuff, you've got to give it away, right? So can I do it myself again? Sure. But how long is it going to take me to do it? Evolve is going to have this back in less than 5 days to me. Many times, right? Of course, it's COVID right now. We're pushing on that 5 days, but normally, even in season, we're at 3-day turn. That's impressive, right? And they're going to learn your style, by the way. They're going to get to within 95%. They're never going to be 100%. And look, that's an unrealistic expectation. If you hand your images away from you to someone else, whoever that someone else is never going to be perfect. So it's an unrealistic expectation. Can they get it to within 90 or 95% of the way you would edit? If the answer is yes, then outsource, let it go, because I'm not going to sit here and obsess over magenta or green. You know, the shadows are a little magenta. Fuck, nobody cares, man. Your client is not going to notice magenta in the shadows. Nobody's going to notice that. So focus on the things that matter, right? Which is marketing and growing your business and shooting more and networking and sitting down with vendors and exploding your business, and focus less on magenta in the shadows, okay? All right, so workflow, send to Evolve, the raw files. I let them do, I order selection, color correction, 20 premium edits, so I want 10 back in color, and you can go to the Evolve website, check that out, it's evolveedits.com. But I order 10 color, 10 black and white. I like variety for my customers. And then I order 1 to 2 signature edits. Now, you're going to wonder, like, well, what's a signature edit? This would be a signature edit that you're seeing on your screen right now. This too would be a signature edit that you're seeing on your screen right now. So it's a very detailed edit. And just so you know, every signature edit that comes out of this company hits my desk. So there is not a single image that gets approved for a signature edit that I have not looked at and personally art directed. And I know you might think it's not true, but it's 100% true. I art direct all the signature edits that come through here with my team. And of course, I'm not the one editing it, but I'm looking at those images and will approve or disprove those images if I don't think they're going to be good enough for you to sell, which is the point. How do you sell it? That's the goal. So you want to have this higher level edit, but the question is always, well, what if they don't buy it, Sal? You know, I just spent this money, I spent $100 on an edit. What if they don't buy it? Fair question, but here's how you have to think about it. First of all, right, from my perspective, who cares? And again, I'm going to play devil's advocate. You're thinking, well, sure, you don't care because you own the company. No, they don't work for free, guys. So if they're working on my stuff, I'm paying them because now they're not working on your stuff, right? So there's still a cost, a labor cost for me to have my team edit these. But here's my mindset with this. Of course, I want to sell it. That's number one goal. Client, I want to pick images that I know my client will buy. The number two goal is use it on my website to attract more of the right clients. So for those of you over the last 2 days who've been like, you know, hey, I don't have the right clients. They're not going to buy albums. They don't want to buy product. They just want digital files. That's because you're not attracting the right clients. We've got to get you to the right clients. Putting these images on your site is going to attract the type of clients who find that work appealing, okay? If that doesn't work, I can print it for vendors, so vendors have it on display in their sales room, right? Like kind of like me behind the wall. That's going to attract more of the right client. And then, of course, use it for social media. Use it for your vendors for social media. So a picture like this, right, we're sharing with the venue. We're sharing with their sales room. I have it on my website. We're sharing it at social media, and I have it printed for bridal shows. Guys, by the time you figure out all the different ways I'm going to use it, the price of it is insignificant. So that's worthwhile investment. So last two slides. Once I get it back from Evolve, right, they send me back XMP files. We 5-star all the special edits. So they come back, sorry for the typo, it's not 5-star, it's 5-star. So we 5-star the images that come back. We import these special edits, and then I rename them. So I rename the raw files as well. And guys, I know I'm going through this fast. Again, this is one of those courses you're going to want to watch on replay to process and test this in your own environment to make sure it works. So my naming convention is the client last name underscore type underscore 0001, 0002. The reason it has to be 4 digits is because you want the images to be in order, right? You don't want 1 and 100, 1, 10, and 100 to start stacking up on each other. So you have to have 0001, 0002, 00010, right? You get the gist. So it's Sincata would be the last name, underscore W for wedding, E for engagement, B for bridal, okay? And now you can create a rename preset right in Lightroom, so it's super easy. Then we render out I render out those JPEG files and upload directly to EnView for Alyssa to do the preview. Here's where the triple backup comes. Those rendered JPEG files all go into a special preview folder, right? So all the other raw files are in the client last name. Remember, that was the first slide I showed. You go into the client last name. That was the first one I showed. Now the previews get rendered to a special preview folder in the main directory. There's a reason I do this, because I don't want to have to go into every client subfolder and find the preview JPEGs. So I create a preview folder, and inside the preview folder is every client that's got a preview. But here's where it all comes together. We only send that preview folder up to the cloud, to Backblaze. And the reason for that is, right, Backblaze takes a long time. They're throttling you to upload. Dropbox takes a long time. It's being throttled. So if you're just backing up the JPEGs to the cloud, how many times, what's the reality if you think about it? When a client finally does come back to you, how often do you have to go to the raw file? It's very rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but 5 years later, you're probably just going back to the JPEG file. They want to order extra prints or something like that. So now I know that I've got the raw file on 2 separate hard drives. Bam. So if something goes wrong with the previews, I got the raws. If the raws disappear, I have the JPEG previews up in the cloud. So I've got triple layer of protection. So I'm hoping this makes sense. So everything's in a single folder. So